to literally dictate like everything they do and say.
Everything. And then I've been doing a lot of like research and learning on like how completely flawed like the two party system and it is in like winner take all. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Zero sum game, dude.
yeah, because then like it just becomes so much of like we need to win so they lose. Like you don't need to pick
Yeah.
you don't need to pick the best candidate. You just need to pick someone that is going to win so that they don't win because like it's better here. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like no, let's put our best product
Yeah.
forward. So stupid.
It's wild because I need to look into it more, but as of now, I'm pretty sure we're the only like major like world power with an actual democracy where we don't have like more than two major political parties.
Yeah, and because like there's you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be like a small or a large. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
there should exist like places for you to be something different.
Yeah, because like I know some people try to argue the Libertarian Party is like it's like an established third party, but I mean Gary Johnson's votes from 2016 prove it all for one, and for two, libertarians almost always end up voting Republican anyways. So
Yeah.
that's complete bullshit if we're gonna try to say that it's a completely separate party. It's pretty much the same ideals, just tamed a little bit.
Yeah, and like the Republicans are like they're like small government, you know what I'm saying? Like less in taxes, pro-life, and like they have like these like very important things that they like
Mm-hmm.
hold like those are like their cornerstones. And then like the
Mm-hmm.
Democratic Party is like literally everything else. You know what I'm saying? Like yes, we care about the like
Yeah,
we're like pro-choice, we're all these things. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot to list off.
yeah. It's like a we're everything they're not.
Yeah, it's wild. Are we rolling?
Yeah.
You're muted.
Yes.
We're on.
It's okay. I wasn't saying anything either.
Oh no, you're good. But yeah, the thing I think on those parties is that yeah, when you look at the two, I think that's the Democratic Party's problem that they're too busy trying to be everything to everyone, and they end up failing people because like it's like what Michael Jordan said in that Last Dance documentary about how you can't please everyone, and like the Democratic Party sitting here trying to do that, and it's like, hey, pick a concrete agenda. And this just obviously shows how badly we need multiple parties because you guys can't be green new deals, while wealth inequality, this and this, like they tie in together, but it's too hard to champion all of those efforts at once.
Been doing a lot of research on that Green New Deal thing. That thing is quite interesting.
Oh, I don't care what anyone says, we're going to have a green new deal in some capacity.
It
Like it's
like bar none, it needs to happen.
with the rampant unemployment we have and the fact our infrastructure is so garbage and that the fracking industry is crumbling, oil industry, like for us in terms of our power in it, really isn't as like solidified as we thought. Like we're there in the negotiations with how weak our fracking industry has shown to be. Yeah, we're gonna need it, especially with how we want new jobs, how we want technology acceleration, how we really need to boost the economy up to catch up. Like literally, why not? Like if we create these companies and these technologies first, we get to export all that out to everyone else.
Yeah. And like not to mention the planet is like dying. Straight up dying.
Mm-hmm.
There's way too much carbon, like the place is way too hot, climate change is real, yada yada yada. And then so like this goes back to like the whole like two parties like we need to win so they don't. You know what I'm saying? Like unfortunately or not, like I don't trust Republicans to care enough to like enact these plans. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, it's sad. And like the thing is too, like I don't necessarily trust the Democrats either. I don't really trust anyone in office that says anything they say unless they're under the age of 65. I really don't. Because it's like, bro, you're here for your retirement portfolio. Like you're not really here for us.
this is your career objective, not you trying to change the world. This is a personal thing that you are doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you are becoming president, not you're the new leader of the country. You know what I'm saying?
It's just for their LinkedIn profile.
Yeah. Or they're in it to like just solidify it. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, for the accolades. Yeah, for their legacy. And like there's some that genuinely care, of course. Yeah. But it's just so hard to tell. But they don't get voted in. Yeah, that
they don't because people are like, oh, they're not going to win the election. The whole winner take all thing. Winner take all is bad. Like we need to fix that. Anyway,
Ranked choice voting.
yes, that's what. Yes, I couldn't remember it, but that was what I was reading up about. Like, and like the annoying part is that there's so many things that like exist in this world that like have been sort of like tested and a little bit proven to be like, no, I think this is like a new modern like sort of better way to do it. Why don't we do it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I remember the very first time I voted in a booth as well, how like there's that box where you can check to vote all Republican or all Democrat. And I remember since that day seeing that, like I was immediately disillusioned with the whole process. It's just like, if you can do that, then why are you even sending people to the booths? Like people can just vote along party lines for people that they don't even know anything about.
Why
like
can't
it's
I
ridiculous.
just tap that on my phone?
That too, and like I think we should make mobile voting or home voting more widespread, because we do have these things like blockchain. We do have geolocation. We have a dual authentication. You can even triple authenticate. You can put a camera on yourself while you do it and send that video file in. It's like we have
There's so
all
many
these
ways
different ways. Yeah, if I'm supposed to be able to trust companies to properly manage mobile banking, mobile transactions, Venmo and things of that nature, if I'm trusting these companies to keep my data from social media, to keep my internet search data, to surveil all of that, how in the world is the government gonna look us in the face and lie to us and say that they can't? They can, they just don't want to.
Yeah, dude. And I think the like a huge thing that this whole like time of quarantine and like everything has revealed to me is like all the times that the government has said that they can't do things. I'm like, dude, you are lying. You are lying. Like you have, like, cause like, and like the whole realization that like maybe America's not as good as it is, but like the one thing I will agree is that we're like a very powerful country and we can do quite like we're a very capable country. You know what I'm saying? It's just what are we going to do versus what are we capable of doing?
Exactly. Like we have so much potential, and that's the thing that always will give me hope in America, knowing no matter where we are, we have so much more potential. We have so much potential to be better because of the frameworks we have in place, because of the ways the laws of the land were originally written, meant to be amended and changed and adjust to the times. It's just we need to actually prioritize those things and stop being so stagnant, because things don't stay the same for a century. So just because we were doing something 100 years ago doesn't mean we need to keep doing the same thing. Like people with COVID are saying, yeah, we don't know all the research, like that's not proven, this, that, and the other. And it's like, okay, well, if you don't want to subscribe to that because it's not proven and you think that the data is messed up and inconclusive, then how about all these other policies that have been shown to be the same that you still heavily support, like trickle down economics? It's like that works in theory, but in practice, when you have so much wealth consolidated at the top, not really. I mean,
it's not trickle. You need that shit to waterfall down, and and they're not trying to waterfall. They're down to trickle, but you need it to waterfall down when there's so much water at the top and so little at the bottom.
Yeah, it ain't trickling, it's dripping.
Yeah,
dripping real slow.
Yeah,
it's like when you haven't paid the water in too much, you're trying to get it.
The top is just too big. Yeah, the the top 1% is just too big, and they're just keeping so much wealth and money and resources. It's trickling down, but there's just not as much that's making it down. So by the point that it gets to the lowest of the low in terms of class, you're not really getting much. And our wealth gap is growing. The middle class is shrinking because we have more and more people slipping into poverty. Like it's been proven that in terms economically, a company, not a company, but a country is going to do the best when its middle class is growing.
We got people at work. We got people doing things. We got people living. We got people, you know what I'm saying, making money for themselves, making money for the government, making money for their communities. We got people having, you know, a little bit of disposable income to maybe take part in like a project and do something like you got people who voices who feel like they're being heard. Like when you're in the middle class, you're like, I've established this foothold in a life. You know what I'm saying? I've built something for myself. Maybe I've sort of semi-successfully started to raise a family. Like I've gotten a few promotions and work. Like whatever you have, like you have achieved like a very real amount of success where you feel like you have wisdom to share, you have a voice to share, you have a platform to share, you have things that you feel proud of, and then with that comes like a willingness to do action. You know what I'm saying?
So true.
Anyway,
Nick, what are you thinking on this?
Nick, are we live? Are we live?
Yeah, we've been live.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to the What's Good podcast with your boy Mikey Henk. Got my boy Nick right there. Got my boy Cheeds down there. I don't know if that's the way you're gonna see it, but whatever. That's the way I'm seeing it. It is a beautiful Monday. Last Monday in June. June flew by, dude. It was fucking crazy.
I know, right, bro? I turned 25 on Friday.
For real?
Well, yeah, like it flew by. So, thank you.
Happy birthday, Cheeds. Happy birthday, Cheeds.
June
or
July 3rd.
Body armor cheers. Yup.
Okay.
It's the whole.
So are we celebrating?
We celebrate accordingly.
Are we celebrating July 4th? Like, is that even happening?
I'm gonna be pretty close to NOS because people were effing around too much in June. I mean, I was out in public myself every now and then and living my life, but I was social distancing as much as possible when I could, using my mask when I could, at least trying to mitigate my addition to the issues. And people can say, well, protesting, like, yeah, that's spiking it. Well, actually, bud, look at the research and you'll see that most of the cities with these protests actually didn't have massive spikes. The spikes are just coming in places that reopened very early when their cases were still too high. But other than that, when it comes to protests, like, we are literally outside. And the people's argument that wanted to open America was, well, you said it doesn't spread much outside, so we should be able to be outside. So, and now they want to trash protesters. It's like, keep pulling your straw man arguments, bud.
Yeah.
The argument. Anyway, Nick, what were you saying?
Wait, what'd you say?
The arguments are so like the arguments that are coming from like people that aren't quite with the movement are just so annoying. But as for 4th of July, I know that Iowa City's not having any fireworks. I don't know if anywhere is having fireworks.
I'm sure people will have their own.
I'm thinking that I want to get some. I do enjoy fireworks. I'm one of those kids. And so I would like to, but we'll see. I've got the weekend off. It's on a weekend, so it's like, why not?
Yeah,
I might just go like fishing or something.
That sounds nice.
Oh yeah, you like
on a boat, or like just off the shore.
Oh no, Terry Trueblood, Sand Lake. That and like maybe just work on some computer projects, chill with the fam, do some grilling. I don't know, the little things, the little things.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna do something with my fam. So, but no fireworks. And my fam are the type of people to be like, oh well, there's gonna be less than 20 people there, and I was like, all right, just I hope there's not more than 20 people there because we got a big family. So
yeah,
I'm hoping for that.
They basically hit you with the "who's all there" text.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't really feel too comfortable when they told me that I should, or not told me. Well, I guess tell me that I will be there. I didn't really have a choice, but gotta hang out with them.
Yeah, family expectations.
Goes back to the whole thing we were talking about the last time about how there just used to be more transparency, so there's less of this gray area in terms of arguments. Like, people are just at each other's throats because the government is just kept lying to us. So I just start telling us a little bit more of the truth, so we don't all have to just start arguing with each other and yelling at people for not wearing masks. Like, I'm the type of person where, like, I'll sit on there on social media and like say it every now and then and retweet the message, but I don't have the time or energy to be accosting people in public or just like yelling at them for not wearing a mask. Like, if they want to do them, they can do them, and if they end up getting sick or getting someone else sick that inadvertently dies. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And if I spread it too, like while I'm wearing a mask, yeah, but at least I tried not to.
Tried my hardest, did everything I could, and like, but like also like with because like it was this whole like May to like Memorial Day till like Juneteenth almost, where like we
Yeah.
really did experience like a life in quarantine. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Memorial Day there was like hella people out all over the place. Juneteenth we saw like a lot of like get-togethers and stuff celebrating the
Yeah,
holiday.
I was chilling home hard for Memorial Day. I was not getting back into that.
But like it was not like it was nice to be able to like get out and do stuff, and now like we're seeing like how wrong that was with like the incredible climbing in cases, which I also think is like a testament to the rampant in testing. And so like you're just gonna get more cases when you test more people, but also like holy hell there's so many coronavirus cases.
That reminded me of
like
what did Donald Trump tweet? We should test less, so that there would be less cases. Like, bro, I don't know.
And that's the funny thing about propaganda. You use full truths mixed with half truths, and then you add in a bunch of complete fallacies and lies, and then it gets to the point where people can't really tell. And yeah, it's
you
definitely
put it out to the people who are going to eat it up, and they do. The problem with propaganda is that it fucking works.
Yeah, because there's so much confusion. You just don't know what's real and what's not. Like, while it's true that if you test less, you're obviously going to find fewer cases.
No, we've got none.
But at the same time, if you're testing less, then you will not know how many cases you had. You won't know how widespread the outbreak is. You won't be able to properly prepare hospitals or your public health response or emergency. And you're more likely than not to end up with chaos if it gets out of control.
And like this is such a testament to like the leadership that we have. Like you look at like all the graphs for like cases over a time period for all the different countries, and it's like, man, wouldn't you guess it? Like the country with the worst leadership is doing the worst. How incredible!
Like, man, and I'll tell you too. Like, people will say like, yeah, whatever, if other countries like look down on us or what. I mean, yeah, you can say whatever, but it still sucks. I mean, I remember when I went to Europe with Brooke Price, like the last weekend or the last week we were there, we were in the UK the weekend where the Charlottesville protests were like all happening and stuff. So we were watching it on BBC.
That's crazy.
And yeah, we're just chilling in our hotel, and I had my Dodgers hat on, and I was literally like taking it off and was like, yeah, I'm not trying to keep showing I'm from this country right now. This is pretty embarrassing. These tiki torch white people out here being all super hateful, running that chick over with the car, just going nuts over an inanimate object.
The statues. Okay, let's get to the statues. Cheeds, what do you want to talk about them? Oh wait, Nick, what you got?
No, go ahead. That was perfect.
Cheeds, what
transition.
you got on the statue?
Oh, okay. Well, when it comes to the statues, I get that people have their ties to them. They are a part of history, 100%. But they're a part of history because we chose to make them that way. So we can also choose to add more context to the history, put a little plaque underneath the statue, give it more information about what that guy was about, why he's there. Or you can erect statues next to them of Black soldiers, Black inventors, or Black people or people of color throughout history in this country who have also against the bad ideals that some of these people in these statues have. If we are to do that, then 100% we can keep them. But the fact that we have failed to do so to this point in time doesn't give me any faith that we will. So at this point, it's like, if it's a statue of somebody that was a Confederate or was a Confederate sympathizer, I don't want that out in public. Like, put it in a museum. It is more than fine that way. And if it's in a museum, oh, hey, guess what? People have to pay entry to come in. So now you're also making money off it. And these statues, like the people freaking out about it, I want them to really sit there and look within themselves and realize you are fighting harder for an inanimate object than you are for justice, for lost lives. while you scream all lives matter. That is complete hypocrisy. Like, it is asinine and just absolutely wrong. It makes zero sense. Mental gymnastics of the highest level, like Olympic gold medal worthy. Like, if they put that same energy into defending these statues in not forgetting history, even though they don't know more than half of Black history, so they've obviously forgotten history. Let's remember that you should also be caping just as hard for these lost lives.
And like what you were saying about putting them, like, I get it. History is important. Like, we have Holocaust museums. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are bad parts of like this history of the world that we need to remember, and we need to that's important regardless of like what happened. And so like when you would put these like some of this like history in a museum, like a Civil War museum, like then you can get like that further context. Like, these people weren't fighting for their way of life; they were fighting to keep slaves. You know what I'm saying? Like let's be very clear about it. Like, that was why it happened. And like about like the whole like learning from your history thing, like, there's a fascist running this country right now. Like, how are you guys forgetting that that the whole Second World War was like democracy versus fascism? Like, how did you forget that so quickly? That there's
he was born in 1946, so literally right before World War II ended as well. But could continue.
Well, like, it's just like you like run down the list of like fascism, like, you know what I'm saying, promoting nationalism, promoting military, promoting like all the like the stupid rallies that he does, like there's so like it just ticks every single box, and it's like no. You guys let a fascist win an election, and like not even you lost the popular vote. You lost the fucking popular vote.
And that too, this whole electoral college thing we need to look at it a little harder, because if we really look at the history of why it was instituted, it seems to be, keyword seems, I'm not going to say definitive, that it is a form of voter suppression. Because why in the world are we not going by popular votes? Like, who cares?
Down the line, who voted more for this person? They win.
Yeah. Who cares about giving proportional weights based on population? All the votes should matter the same. No one's more important than anyone else. This should be a popular vote, and you should just have to win by at least a half a percentage point, or you then go to the electoral college. The electoral college should be a backup, not the first choice.
Now includes unlimited minutes. How about that? Let's go, Nick.
Wait, that's a thing? When did they start limiting time?
Zoom got the bag.
Yeah, they got the bag. They're trying to. Yeah, come on. That stock price went up.
So let's talk about those protests now, because
No, go. I'm sorry.
No, Nick, please.
Yeah,
please.
Yeah, Nick, we're trying to hear from you.
Yeah,
No, I'm just doing some research. I'm just kind of just fact checking y'all and just seeing stuff about the electoral college. It's kind of interesting how like you can just win a swing state and they'll win you the election.
Exactly.
And it's like that. Like what Trump won Wisconsin, Michigan, and I think that helped him a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
And then you know what I'm saying?
You just win those states, and you still don't win the popular vote, and you win. I don't get it really.
And then that creates target areas. Like, if you want to win this election, go campaign in Wisconsin, go campaign in Pennsylvania, go campaign in Iowa, go campaign in Wisconsin. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, like, if all votes were equal and every vote mattered the same as the other one, you would need to win this campaign everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
To truly try to represent the most amount of people possible. You know, it's like that should be the incentive. Represent as many people as possible. And I would like to see candidates do things that presidents, administrations of the past did, like John F. Kennedy with like Lyndon B. Johnson and situations like that, or like Eisenhower and everything, like where they would actually be willing to bring in people from the other side to their administration to actually work under the administration. Like, why can't we normalize the winning candidate to be a special advisor, or and then to bring in some of their best people to also be advisors in specific departments, because then people could actually feel like they were also being heard.
If I win, you win.
Yeah, because when you just shut that side out completely,
we won,
you
lost.
Fact that,
fuck you.
Yeah, like people voted for them too, so you should also give their side a voice, so there isn't so much animosity and division, so people feel like they're actually being represented. And even if they are faking it up there in DC, because I mean, we all know that they're
fake it till you make it.
Yeah, we all know they're full of shit. I'd rather at least have the illusion that you care about everyone's opinions rather than
optics matter. Optics matter.
Mm-hmm.
So
anyway, go ahead, Nick.
How do you even change the Electoral College? It's not like an amendment in the Constitution. Like, how would you go upon doing that? Like a referendum or
ranked choice voting and then popular vote?
I think it should be a type of referendum, like with what they did with Brexit, where we actually poll everyone, and if you have a plurality of the votes, and not like Brexit where you're going a 51-49 split, like more like have to have a 55+% majority for the resolution to pass. But like to actually start looking at these things, like we need to have more mass citizen votes for certain special topics. Like I think every year, instead of just we'll just hope that politicians actually do what we want, and they're not going to always do what we want because they don't care what we want all the time. They only care what we want if we're going to help them keep their power.
So, I mean, just looking at this article that I'm reading, it says the current system for electing a U.S. president traces back to 1787. So this is a system from 1787.
Sounds outdated.
It does a little bit.
Sounds like it could use
a tune-up.
What's that word? Amending? Amendment? Wait, something like that.
It's like a synonym for changing.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, bro.
It's like something that has to do with like progress and moving forward, and
like you take something that used to work and like now you want to make it work better. You know what I'm saying?
Optimizing.
Yeah.
Huh.
And I think these like group of white guys in July 4th, 1776, like signed this document with this specific intention. Yeah. And then they came back with the Constitution with the specific, intention of, hey, things might change in the future, so let's allow people to change them. Let's make this amendable. So, yeah, I don't know.
Speaking of amendments and things that I would like to see change going forward, and all these current events, these protests that we're seeing, I would really like to abolish the police, just between us. Like, not in the most serious sense, but like I think like
this is going on YouTube, so it ain't between us.
But like a very mass defunding.
Okay. All right. Let me check you real quick. Abolish or defund?
I'm defund.
Can I get both? Like,
and if defund doesn't work, abolish. And in the areas where the police are obviously so corrupt that defunding isn't going to fix them right away, abolish and restructure and rebuild. Because I'd rather rebuild a system with new cops that aren't terrible than departments that are obviously beyond repair in some instances.
You cut off for a second.
Oh yeah, I was saying like I'd rather have a system where we get rid of the police departments that are just awful beyond repair than try to reform them, because I mean, if they're beyond repair, you're gonna have a pretty terrible time trying to reform them.
You don't repair a totaled car. you get a new car.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You don't keep building on a foundation that's obviously cracked. You rebuild the foundation.
Right.
Stop
And
what you're doing.
Yeah.
Get
And
rid
not
of it.
all police departments are broken beyond repair. So that's why I think it should be a community effort in each of these places where we each look at them and all come to the table. And it's not just politicians listening to police and just listening to protesters on the outside and just making the choices there. No, let citizens come into these meetings and actually have a voice, because you are instituting systems that are supposed to make us feel safe and protect us. So wouldn't you like to actually have us tell you how we would feel safer and how we would feel protected? Like, it's that easy. It's that simple. But they
Just
don't do it because
ask.
they don't care.
Ask me. I will tell you. Dude, the craziest thing happened the other day. I was driving home from somewhere and I passed by a cop and it didn't pull behind me. I was like, wow, that's never happened in my life before. I was like, you
Must
guys,
be nice.
yeah. But like, that's something that I seriously want to see, like some form of like, of not reformation, like some sort of like police, you know, repurposing, redistributing, like let's like literally like go to the drawing board and see how we can do this better. And I think that sentiment is shared by quite a few people, you know what I'm saying, in the United States. And so now I'm wondering, what's the best way to make that like really actually happen? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just go back to like the whole like vote blue no matter who, because like can't see Republicans trying to do this, but like I don't know.
Yeah, vote blue no matter who sucks. Cause bro, Ho Biden, bro. Why him?
I'm not a fan.
Why him?
But
Me either. He's a pedophile. He's weird. He's an old white guy. He's part of the system. His platform is vote for me, I'll beat Trump. Thanks. Dude.
Him and Trump both have very high likelihoods based on our life expectancy of dying before they finish their job.
They're gonna get corona and die.
Like I don't want to
Trump
deal with
gets
that.
corona and dies. That'd be the craziest.
well, you know who's up next. And
The other person
that's
that doesn't
probably
wear
worse.
Mr.
Yeah.
Holier Than Thou, Mike Pence. Dude,
But when's the last time you saw either of them wear a mask? Just saying.
Mike Pence actually briefly put one on in Texas yesterday as he was telling people, hey, wherever it's designated, you should wear a mask. And it's like, oh, you should have been saying this since March, bucko. maybe then we could have actually opened and not have had these areas that would have closed up again. And yes, the science is not definitive. It is not 100% proven that masks will always stop the spread. But
However,
data does show that it does mitigate your potential of spreading germs to other people. And that is the goal. Like, we cover coughs for a reason. They say cough in your arm for a reason. If it didn't help stop germs, then we would be coughing into the air or into people's faces. So people arguing against masks and saying it's not definitive, it doesn't work. It's like, so why do you cough in your sleeve?
Why do you sneeze into your elbow? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Why do you cover your mouth?
Why do surgeons wear masks? Why do painters wear masks when they're painting in enclosed spaces? So they don't breathe in the aerosols.
Fucking helps, dude.
Yeah.
And I'll admit that at one point I was thinking, man, I wish we all did the same thing. I wish we all either agreed to quarantine or just say, fuck it, and let's just go outside and not quarantine. However, that is wrong because we don't have herd immunity to the common cold or influenza. We get vaccines. So it doesn't mean Fauci was saying, and I agree with him, he says we probably won't ever get herd immunity. We'll have to use a vaccine to develop some resistance to the coronavirus. So my whole thought process of the herd immunity thing is now out of my head. I think quarantine is definitely the solution, but
and also
it's now become a political thing, and
I think people need to really understand what it takes. Like people need to understand what it takes to get herd immunity. It's not that quick. Like, it takes a while. to spread something to over 50% of the population. Like, we would need over 165 million people in this country to have COVID before we had concrete herd immunity.
We're
Like,
getting there.
having people just outside isn't just going to make that happen within 6 months. And having people just outside is going to absolutely collapse your healthcare system. Is going to back everything up. You're gonna have death and despair everywhere. So yeah, we need a balance. We can't just keep the economy closed, but at the same time, we need to take care of people if we're going to tell them to hold themselves back or to stay home. Like, where are these checks at, man? Like, you're giving all our hard-earned money to these billionaires and these corporations. People are like, well, they employ people too. Okay, but these corporations that are taking in billions of dollars, and we know from their financial disclosures that they have been terrible about managing their money, and they've just been giving more and more money to their executives. Screw them. Like, bad companies are meant to fail. They're letting small businesses fail. Let these terrible corporations fail. It's like, there are good ones, but the ones that suck, let them go.
If failure is like, I don't know. I think America has such like a false perception of failure. Like, failure is not this awful thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's not this thing that you need to like run away from or whatever. Like, failure is a part of success. Like, it's growth. It's literally like, failing is crucial to succeeding. Literally. Like, you need to go ahead, Nick.
But do you ever remember in American history, or like when you're growing up, like, of America failing? Like, do you ever remember learning about a failure? No, they like hyper taught us that we won World War I, we won World War II. The good guys won the Civil War. We won the American Revolution. We won the War of 1812. Like, they just like, it's kind of like brainwashing you that we always need to get the dub. Like, we can never fail. We can never lose. Like, it's
what they teach you. Then Calvin and I have been talking about this a lot lately. Like, what, because like when all these protests started or whatever, you know, like, there's the whole like Martin Luther King versus like Malcolm X type of like argument, whereas like one was like very peaceful protesting, and the other one was like, no, let's break some eggs and make this omelet. You know what I'm saying? And like, and we're taught that Martin Luther King was like a more of a successful story, that he did more to you know, like, bring about a change of good in this world. But Calvin was like, is that just what they taught you? Like, is that just like, what do you know about what Malcolm X did? Like, I had no idea who Fred Hampton was. I had no idea about the race wars, the race riots in Tulsa. Like, there's so much that I just like didn't learn about going through a public academic field. You know what I'm saying?
Marcus Garvey. We don't talk about Marcus Garvey either, and that is a travesty. He is a main figurehead in the beginning of the struggle for civil rights. We don't talk about him. I don't remember ever talking about James Baldwin when we talked about Black history and all K through 12. And that is a travesty, because he is one of, in my opinion, and in a lot of great writers' opinions, one of the best writers to ever walk this earth, and one of the best thinkers to ever walk this earth.
And like, is it that believable that it was like Martin Luther King showed up on the Lincoln Memorial steps, said a speech, and then like that was like how the entire like civil rights movement was like won and dusted? You know what I'm saying?
And
like,
everything was happily ever after.
No, there was so many other people that played their part, and that played like a rather large part in that. And it was just like, oh, yep. And then the civil rights happened, and we're on to the 70s and 80s.
Yeah. And like with that whole civil rights thing, and after Martin's speech, everything was fine. And then Malcolm X was shot. And then a few years later, Martin Luther King was shot. And it's like, oh, so was everything really fine after? And then we find out about COINTELPRO because some great white activists, thank you to them, broke into a building and stole some FBI documents and unearthed COINTELPRO to the world and showed everyone the FBI conducts mass surveillance on their own civilians, designates people as dangerous just because they're empowering people to actually exercise their rights and to stand up for themselves. I.e. Marcus Garvey, Fred Hampton, Martin Luther King.
Assassinated by the FBI.
Yeah, bro, all four of them. I guarantee you. All. I mean, I can't guarantee it, but I'm willing to bet all four of them, FBI, CIA, were involved in some way, shape, or form, because we do know that they were wiretapping their phones constantly, and that any rally they went to, white supremacists somehow always had advance notice when they were showing up.
There's got to be a higher power in there. So back to the whole finding, actionable steps to defund the police. What Beef tweeted out, I think like last night or sometime rather soon ago. He said that 4 years of Biden sounds tough, but 4 years of Democratic leadership and Democratic majorities in like the House and Senate, that sounds pretty nice. And with a Democratic president that I hope would just sort of like do what he's told, you know what I'm saying? Like the House and Senate would like push bills through and then the president would just like enact those bills, you know what I'm saying? That sounds nice.
And why is the idea of a president, like, I'm not saying it's great to have a more puppet-like president, but why is the idea of having a president that does what he's told by the mob, as they call it, or the people, such a bad thing? I mean, we voted him in. It's supposed to be a government by the people, for the people. So shouldn't our top leaders actually listen to us and bend to our whims?
Is it, dude? It's like, I mean, whenever I'm playing music for a bunch of people, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to cultivate the vibes. I will pick out a certain person and I'll try to play a song that they know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, here you go. Like this is your song. Like, is it that wrong to take into account your constituents? Like, is it that wrong to do something for the people that you're leading? Oh my God.
It just hurts to know that they've been doing this same cycle of stupidity over and over and over and over again, whether it was Democrat or Republican. There's this repeated stupidity. And like even Obama like fell for the trap, I will say. And he was not perfect. But for people to really act like he didn't really try and that he didn't actually try to institute reforms, they are not informed and they need to do the research. People were like, he never tried to reform the police. Well, people should look up this little thing called the My Brother's Keeper initiative, and also look up My Brother's Keeper. It's like they did this research program basically where they looked into the things affecting Black and minority communities and poor communities and ways that we could really fix these things and help to make them better. And he gifted it to the Trump administration. The report was released in July of 2016. He gifted that to Donald Trump, and I don't see him using it. Like he can say he cares about everyone as much as he wants, but actions speak louder than words. And I do not see you consistently trying to make that benefit Black Americans. And people can say, well, all your reforms should benefit all Americans. Well, all Americans aren't experiencing the same thing, so all Americans should not be treated the same way in terms of the policies that we're instituting. Once the policies and the justice system and the system in itself values everyone equally, or at least equitably, then we can institute policies that are blanket policies. Then we can really do the rising tide lifts all boats. Then we can really do the trickle down economics type theories. But until that point, those things don't work because there's too much inequality.
Because you're not like when it's a blanket, when you're doing a blanket, it needs to cover a flat area. You know what I'm saying? A blanket will not cover a slope. You know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't work.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's a tough.
Too many people lying to themselves and like willing to just be complacent for the sake of being comfortable. And it's like, all right, you're having a great time being comfortable, but I'm uncomfortable as anything. You know, it's like people. It's like, I'm tired of seeing all this stuff on my social media feed and all this negativity and all this. Where's the positivity? Try being Black, bud.
not easy for me either.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I could go on a run and not get shot, but unfortunately, there exists a very real possibility of that happening. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna do what I need to do to make sure that does not, like, that possibility no longer exists.
Yeah, and we restrict ourselves to avoid other people attacking us. What?
Makes no sense. Makes no sense.
Yeah, that's
That's what we're talking
backwards.
about when we say things like white privilege. It's like other people get to just live the way they live without a care. Whereas we're sitting here like, yo, we would love to do that, but we get vilified when we do. Like,
Unfortunately,
anytime you see a rich black athlete having fun, or any black person having any fun, there's always, can you even afford that, or how'd you pay for that, or oh, you should get back in the gym and work on your crafts, or this, that, and that. But then you see some rich white billionaire messing around on a yacht or with a bunch of girls he probably half paid for or whatever, and having the time of his life. And it's, yeah, I want to live like that. I want to be like that. Watch Wolf of Wall Street. Wall Street Money Never Sleeps, and say, man, those dudes were G's, bro. And then it comes to other crime, and it's, oh, crime is bad. They committed a crime. They should have been punished. It's like, but you glorify the Godfather. You glorify all this other stuff. You glorify mobs. But the second it comes to real black people, it can't happen, and it's wrong.
yeah.
Make
And,
that
like,
make sense.
and
And
it makes sense.
yeah, like, I'm not excusing crime either. I'm just saying, like, these people are trying to be absolutists, but they're doing a terrible job of it because they're completely contradicting themselves.
And, like, I don't know, like, crime is an interesting little topic because, like, I think no one is born a criminal, you know what I'm saying? Like, no one is, like, no one really, like, wants to become a criminal, you know what I'm saying? I didn't grow up like, and I was like, oh, perfect, I'm gonna go rob something, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm gonna go steal something, or I'm gonna go, like, murder or whatever. Like, it's something that you, like, that from your, like, I had a class this last semester, an environmental studies class, and we were talking about, like, poaching elephants, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's, like, a pretty awful thing. Like, we can all agree that that's an awful thing and that it shouldn't happen. But at the same time, think about those poachers who probably can poach these elephants and then sell like that ivory to, like, a really high bidder and get a hell of a lot of money, and they can use that money to then feed their family and feed their village. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't want to do this, but it's the way that they know how to protect their family and protect their village. So it's like, yes, it's this awful thing. Elephants should live. We need to protect our endangered species, yada, yada, yada. But we also need to help those people that would turn to crime to protect what they have and give them a better way to do their life. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. Hurt people hurt people. These people seeing the protesters and bringing out their guns and saying, I'm going to protect my property. Come on my property, I'm going to shoot you. How the hell do you think the people in inner cities are thinking when their family members are getting killed?
And with no, you know what I'm saying? Like, when these evil things happen, one of, like, the only crutch that you can lean on is justice. You know what I'm saying? Like, they will, like, there exists justice in this world, and there exists a higher power that will enact this justice. And then, like, the true outrage comes when nothing fucking happens. Because then you're like, okay, no, these are different rules. No one gives a fuck, and I'm pissed.
Different strokes for different folks, as we like to say in the Black community. But like, looking at all of that. Yeah, Nick, I'll let you go. Actually.
No, do you wanna?
Go ahead,
No,
King.
No, I don't have anything to say. I don't have.
That's not true. That's not true.
Go off, King. Go
off,
King.
Yeah,
Well, I was just gonna say, Mike was speaking of justice, and I just want to remind people that no justice, no peace, and those policemen who murdered Breonna Taylor still out there. So try to speak to your. I like to speak to my parents about these things because I feel like they kind of turn their head and avoid them, because I don't know. I don't know if like it's an energy thing, they don't want to deal with it, or I really don't know. But I try to let my elder folk know what I feel, and even people at my work, they make fun of me for being the millennial, and then I just further prove it to them that I am a millennial and I care about these things, and I can't just like be silent about it. I have to say something. So
I hope I'm not butchering his name, but justice for Elijah McClain.
yes, him
Dude.
too. Yes.
Dude, that
Last
story.
August, bro.
Yeah.
That story
Last
is.
August.
That's sad. Yeah.
And it's and then you look at like Breonna Taylor and the life that she led. Like these are some beautiful people. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
She
like
was an EMT. She was literally a lifesaver.
Yeah.
and like I don't know, like lately what else I've been thinking about, like after going to a protest and after like sort of seeing the energy and seeing the movement, like Black Lives Matter is such an understatement. You know what I'm saying? Like Black lives are like important. Black lives are impactful. Black lives are beautiful. Black lives are like this incredible. Black lives are strong. You know what I'm saying? Like it's saying they matter is the least you can do for them. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like
Right.
3 words.
but like there it's so much more, like it's there. I don't know, the value that they have, that Black lives in specific have, is like is so much greater than like you could even think. And like it's when you take away those people, I don't know, it's I hate it.
And it's hilarious to me that these same people that are trying to diminish Black Lives Matter and trying to paint anyone that supports it with a broad brush and like generalizing all of it are the same people trying to say don't paint all cops with a broad brush, don't paint all Republicans or Democrats with a broad brush, don't act like all of these statues are all terrible people.
They didn't
Don't
all
paint
love slaves.
Yeah, don't paint the Confederacy with a broad brush. Don't paint my ancestors with a broad brush. And it's like, bro, why does it apply to you but not to us? That's what we call white privilege.
Keep it equal. Let's keep it 100.
Yeah.
It's not a political thing. It's just
Those
it's a common sense thing.
human rights are not up for debate.
No.
They are
Human rights
not
are
a
not
political issue.
No, they're not.
Racism is not a political issue. Let's get that shit
Yeah.
out of here. Let's make it so that racism has nowhere to live, nowhere to hide. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I know and see far too many people that were quick to vilify LeBron James, Steve Kerr, Greg Popovich, etc. for the Hong Kong stuff. Yet they're out here vilifying their own countrymen for standing up for their own rights and beliefs. Yet they were quick to shame anyone that wasn't willing to do the same for Hong Kong. Make that make sense. They were so quick to stand up for these people overseas, but can't even stand up beside their own countrymen and listen to them and empathize with them. I'm willing to bet you the vast majority of people that were supporting Hong Kong don't know a damn thing about what's actually going on over there, or even realize that it is still going on. And the only reason it ever took a break was because of the coronavirus outbreak.
Yeah.
Yeah, aren't they like back to protesting right now?
Yeah. And like that's when COVID got on my radar, because I remember I was just like, wait.
This guy,
Why did
y'all
I just stop? Like, why did I just stop hearing about Hong Kong all of a sudden? And I just looked into it like towards the beginning of February, like after the Trump speech and all that. It's just like, oh God, like wait, what is going on in China? And there's all these threads on Reddit with all these crazy videos of like incinerators being brought in and like mass sanitation happening. Meanwhile, they're telling the world things are fine. And it's just like, okay, I don't need intelligence clearance to see that something is definitely up, because the Chinese Communist Party doesn't care about anyone other than themselves. So if they're actually trying to take care of their own citizens, something's up.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, even the Chinese Communist Party, who does like historically now doesn't give a fuck about their citizens, even they understand we do need you. We do need you to be alive and healthy so that you can keep working for us.
Yeah. So this whole thing about how the rich and the elites are completely self-made and the money they keep making kind of debunks a lot of that, huh?
Yes.
Almost like they need workers to keep their wealth.
Elon Musk ain't building these rockets.
Speaking of Elon, visionary, great dude, funny guy. I still support his vision, but that dude needs to stop trying to chime in on COVID as if he is some expert on everything science. I mean, like, I chime in on it every now and then, but I'm not going to act like I have the absolute facts on literally like him talking about the testing and all that. It's like in a lot of cases, about 50% of the tests aren't even working properly and stuff, and not even acknowledging the fact that a lot of people go back for secondary or even tertiary tests. And it's like, dude, like, don't even worry about the case numbers. Look at the hospitalization numbers. And he's talking about, well, the death numbers have been dropping. Well, yeah, that usually happens when you learn how to deal with the disease better. And the death numbers are still low. Yeah, we've known for a while now that the deaths lag the onset of the disease for a while. And some people fight the disease for 2 or 3 weeks. Some people fight it for as long as 3 months. So you're going to have things lagging, bud. And him saying that this isn't settled science. This isn't settled science. And it's like, okay, well, you going to Mars, that isn't settled science either. You're still doing it though, aren't you?
You're still trying. And like, I don't know. And I think like you and I hopping on Twitter and saying like, oh, like saying whatever. We have, what, hundreds of people following us on Twitter. We like our voice is not as loud as Elon Musk, and it's not as like highly regarded. You know what I'm saying? Like
exactly.
You do have a person who has like made a company, who is making rockets, who is doing stuff. Whereas like you have to understand the voice that you have, and you have to understand like what your words do when you say that.
Like your platform, like there are just too many people that are just using their platform to be self-serving. Like he's acting like he wants everyone's freedoms in open America. Well, the 10th Amendment kind of gives the government the leeway in emergency situations kind of like this, and like emergency situations such as this. And actually, a Supreme Court precedent from 1905 during the smallpox outbreak actually gives the government, Supreme Court. So this is precedent for the entire country. Gives the government the leeway to institute different laws or statutes or policies in times of public health crises. So it is precedent. So these people talking about how infringing on their rights and it's wrong. No, you're kind of wrong there, bud, because it's actually set in stone that they're allowed to do that. Like they did the same thing when polio outbreak happened. They did the same thing with the Spanish flu. So why are we now so special that we don't have to worry about public health? Like, yeah, it sucks having the government tell you to do this or do that. And people are like, yeah, I hate the government telling me what to do. I don't do what the government tells me to do. All right, stop paying your taxes then. Let's see what happens.
Dude,
yeah.
I have to wear a mask for 8 hours every time I go to work, and it fucking sucks. I gotta be honest. Like it's the worst thing in the world. It gets hot up in that shit.
Blows.
I've got I got pimples growing on my nose because of all like the oil and shit. Like I have to wash my face all the time. Like it sucks dick. I gotta be honest. But just do it because it's not that big of a deal, and you just gotta you're doing it for others. You know what I'm saying? Like it shouldn't be so hard to get people to care. Really shouldn't.
Yeah. It's like a temporary inconvenience, It's like it's going to be a year, maybe a year and a half, where we even have to worry about anything in terms of social distancing or masks and all these things. So that's a temporary inconvenience. I think we can definitely do this. Yet we have people saying that no, it's wrong, it can't happen, infringing on my rights. Well, a lot of Black Americans sit here when these injustices happen, and we're told to shut up and dribble, or to be quiet, or that you don't want to hear our opinion.
Stay in your lane.
Basically telling us to stay in our lane because you don't want to hear about what we have to say. And
you've made millions of dollars. Like, what do you have to say? You're playing a game.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, he worked hard to get there. And people are like, you made it there because of the genetic lottery. No, you're thinking of it wrong. In most of these cases, these guys came from mass poverty. The odds are so stacked against them that the fact they hit the genetic lottery, they literally hit the lottery.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
they are anomalies. They are miracles for the fact that they made it where they are. There are tons of other minorities that are endowed with special talents that don't make it out, and not just athletic talents. Talents here, talents connecting to people here, talents connected to this, but that don't make it out. So they're trying to speak up for them because they've been there, and to shut them up, that's why no one understands each other, because you're not allowing people to speak on it. Everyone wants to hear from the broke guy that's trying to make it. I also want to hear from the guy that actually made it, because I'm trying to learn how to actually make it. And the people that stay grounded when they make it, I want to keep hearing from them, because I want to see what it takes and what I need to do to still be grounded when I make it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't turn into some corrupt asshole that only cares about myself.
Yeah. Another thing about these athletes that speak out and they're really under the microscope, and whenever they do something like wrong, I guess, that Jordan doc kind of brought to light that it's like Jordan, LeBron, they're humans just like us. Yeah, they
None
have
of
like
our heroes are perfect.
yeah, no one's perfect, but still, like, they're trying and they're using their platform generally for good. So
Yeah. I heard this interesting theory of like why people like are looked to tear down people or cancel people like when they make mistakes, and it's that we're all so miserable in ourselves in our own lives that we're just looking for that moment when we can point to where someone else messes up, so we can be like, gotcha.
Yeah.
You're not better than me.
Yeah.
You're the same as me.
Let me
or
project.
You might be worse.
Yeah, let me project.
And it's like, man, like what are you going through where you feel like you need to keep doing this? Like, it must suck constantly hating on people. Like cancel culture, like me with that, it's like, hey man, if you're gonna be trying to get people out of here, if it's something they recently did and they're not addressing it, that's a situation where it's like, all right, go ahead and cancel the shit out of them. But if it was a few decades ago and the times were different, because you have to look at societal standards in the context of the times, which is why I'm not looking to tell people that they need to apologize for their ancestors. No, I'm just telling the government to make it right. But back to the athletes. So for them, it's just like, yeah, like stop looking to just immediately vilify people the second they make a mistake. You can reprimand them for it, but if they're actually actively trying to be better and doing better, then leave them alone. And if they apologize for it, take the apology. Because as I believe, the best apology is change behavior. So if they have changed their behavior and they're not engaging in that anymore, when you ask them to apologize, they apologize and they have shown you that they have changed, leave them alone and get a life. But when you have situations where people are not addressing it and are just continuing to just show that they have some messed up morals or questionable morals, that's a situation where it's like, all right, you got to keep pressuring that dude, because who knows what they really are thinking? Who knows if they really have grown or if they're just posturing? Like Dave Portnoy, some videos surfacing right now of that guy saying the N-word freely.
Really?
When Barstool was like first originating, and there are people that seem to think that it could possibly not be a big deal. And it's like, well, to me, I understand that in some cases he was quoting rap songs, and yeah, I know that most white boys are likely, when they're quoting rap songs, when black people aren't around, saying the N-word. Whatever, that's you. I mean, I'm not hearing it, you're not saying it to me, different situation. But when you are making money on these videos, when this is your monetary gain to be doing these things, and you continue to do and you do them and you don't apologize for them, then if it's in the recent past, like this stuff's from the last decade, like you need to apologize, because your parent company in Penn and your investors are out here believing that you guys actually care about fixing things and making things better. Well, do you really? Because you need to apologize. It's like just because you made a mistake and you changed doesn't mean you're good to never have to remedy it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and him
What do you?
kind of like backpacking off that. There's been a lot of canceling. As someone that watches a lot of Twitch, there's been a few people that have been getting canceled. A lot of women are coming out with their stories of them being sexually abused or harassed, and I think it's been good for them to tell people what has been going on and not to stay quiet about that. I don't know if you know someone in a big streamer house, Fedmeister. Do you know who Pokimane is?
I've been
Cheeds?
seeing little bits and pieces of that
Okay.
story.
So anyways, he did some questionable stuff when living in the house. He's been removed, and I think it's been good that these women are bringing this to light. And I think this is all part of us growing and our generation coming to age and speaking out more. Anyways, I didn't really go anywhere with that, but
No, I see what you mean.
someone else who also got kicked from Twitch, but we don't know why, Dr. Disrespect. Have you heard of that?
Doctor, the good doc.
No.
He's a huge streamer. Anyways, kind of along the Portnoy thing, him being from Boston, we found out, and I was very surprised because the New England Patriots are a interesting organization. Starting at the top, Robert Kraft I think he's buddy with Trump. We know Tom Brady and his association with Trump. Them signing Cam Newton, I was honestly surprised, and I don't know. I'm happy for Cam Newton. I think this will be great for him, but yeah. I don't know if you have any opinions on that.
I wish the most success to Cam. That dude has so many haters. It's crazy. Like, people really act like when he's not on his game, he isn't one of the best players in the game. Like, he's been
MVP.
injured heavily the last few years, and his coaching staff has been putting him through the ringer with how they just keep throwing him out there and how they didn't give him a great line. Right. Well, now he finally has a good coach that will actually try to help him out and keep him a little more healthy. So now let's see what happens before we keep vilifying the dude and saying he sucks. Like, he has been hurt. He hasn't been playing at 100% since at least 2016.
Yeah. Starting off with that he's never really had a good line. He's had okay lines. I think his best line was when they went to the Super Bowl. I wanted him to go to the Bears, but we got BDN, so yeah.
But
yeah, that Bears ownership.
I would have much rather Cam Newton went to the fucking Bears than the Patriots. Like, I was so excited for the Patriots to be bad, and now they've got Cam Newton. It's like, oh, great. They're gonna, and like, Cam could play another 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's on a 1 year
The Bears
for $1 million. He's playing for $1 million fucking dollars.
The Bears could have had Cam Newton or Teddy Bridgewater, but they chose Nick Foles.
BDN.
Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles. I'll give you that. But Cam Newton, and it's the fact that no one did, so his price just got lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. And then the Patriots were like, hey, we'll give you $1 million to come be our quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
Which is it's the veteran minimum for an MVP. Like, something's not adding up. There has to be something else. Like, dude can still
Robert Kraft's
play.
gonna pay him under the table.
You think so?
Apparently, like, hella incentive.
Yes.
Like,
I
up
mean,
to like
that's been the rumor
$7.5
for
million.
how Tom Brady has been taking pay cuts for years, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's true. It's like, it's
Robert
probably
Kraft
little
donating to
incentives of, if you
Giselle.
win this or do this, here you go. I bet there are owners across many sports that pay people under the table. It's like,
Sure.
let's not act like corruption just isn't everywhere. I mean, the NCAA tried to act like it for the longest, but I mean, we all know the truth.
Yeah, right. Well, anyways, along the sports lines, Mike, congratulations.
Best team in the world, probably.
Coming soon.
But like, did you see that J.R. Smith just got signed?
Yeah, he's
Hey.
gonna be signed.
J.R. Smith, Deion Waiters, Brandon Knight.
All I need is AD, LeBron, and Caruso, and I like the team. You know what I'm saying?
I don't
I'm not
know.
even
a
lying.
retired
Not
Bill
even
Russell on a cane. It don't
Like-
matter. Lakers and four.
Lakers in 4. Lakers in 4.
I don't know.
Is that gonna happen? Like
I don't know. I like the Clippers.
they released the schedule.
I like the Clippers. I don't think it's gonna be hard to stop Kawhi and Lou Will on a good day. Lou Will. Okay.
The Lakers didn't have a hard time doing that.
Well, yeah, like a good day when they did.
Was Kawhi in or out?
He was. It was the second to last game of the regular season.
When we beat the Bucks and the
That the Lakers
Clippers
played.
in the same weekend.
Murdered them.
That was a great
Yeah,
week.
beat the Bucks
That
and
was a
then
great
the
week.
Clippers.
That was a great
I
weekend.
still think the Clippers might be a little deeper. I'm not sure though. That's just
They-
my
they
opinion.
They can be as deep as they want. Traditional playoff rotations are usually about 8 players once
Yeah,
you get to the second
sure.
round.
Sure.
They're
Clippers signed Joakim Noah. I mean, that's not just pulled
Trash.
it up right here.
Yikes! Yikes!
Whoa,
That's
whoa, whoa.
That's just height and
whoa,
length to try to compete with Dwight Howard, who is way bigger, way more athletic.
whoa.
Lakers can
And
literally play
Anthony
above the
Davis.
rim. Like,
I don't know,
Way bigger,
man.
way more
Put some
athletic.
respect on Joe's name. Defensive MVP.
How many years ago?
That's
back in 08.
2015.
The Knicks literally paid him not to play.
Yeah, well, he had some injury problems. And, you know, he apparently
Anyway.
said
No,
he
no,
partied
that's
a
my
little
point, like,
too much in New York,
As
and
far as we know, he is washed up.
I don't know,
Nice and
man.
clean.
I don't know.
Well, the last time he was playing, he wasn't great either. Like he's,
Sure.
it's like there's no way I can be convinced that he will have an appreciable
Impact.
impact against the production of Anthony Davis and Dwight Howard.
And LeBron and JaVale.
No.
JaVale's been playing well for us.
Yeah, JaVale McGee. Yeah, JaVale McGee's probably better than him.
I will take JaVale McGee over Joakim Noah.
Right
Like,
now,
here's what
yeah.
I'm-
Sure.
Here's what I'm saying about the whole Lakers Clippers thing. Yes, the Clippers have like a lot of really good players. The Lakers are the best team. They work together and they play off of each other and they win and succeed as a team so much better than any other team in the NBA right now. And at the end of the day, like the Lakers are a team sport. LeBron is the best teammate of all time. Like they're just so much better cohesively than any other team. The loss of Avery Bradley does hurt, though. I'm a big fan.
It does, but
big
I understand players doing what they're gonna do. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, at this point, like, if I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't know that we're gonna finish the playoffs. Like, I know that we'll finish the regular season. I don't know if we're getting through the playoffs because
We'll
those
see.
Florida COVID
We'll
numbers.
see.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the MLB, same thing. The Red Sox owner was just on this podcast yesterday I was listening to, talking about how, like, I mean, while they have agreed to everything, that it is still up in the air whether they are going to be able to actually finish all this out. It's still hopeful. And my money is on the fact that this baseball season is not going to happen.
Is gone.
Have you guys seen the protocols, like for the testing and everything? It's going to take the entire month of July for them to even get the testing protocols like completely set in stone and to have everyone tested and quarantined and all of that. And that's all while they're trying to do spring training and trying to get everyone back together. So how are we going to expect baseball to play? Like they're going to have to play in warmer areas. And right now, a lot of the states that they were looking to play in are being crippled by COVID.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was one thing I know the NHL. I might be the only one that pays attention to hockey right now, but NHL is playing all their games in Vegas, and because they have the infrastructure to have all the hotels that host all the teams. Like, why can't we just have baseball in LA and make sure there's strict protocols on, okay, after the game you go to a hotel, like can't go anywhere else. I don't know, like how is that?
Too many people in LA teams, can't trust them.
Can't trust him.
We're talking about dudes that have chewing tobacco in their mouths in the middle of the games. Their worry for health isn't exactly very high.
Sure. No, I just wanted to see my White Sox make it to the playoffs, but
Oh yeah, I mean, I want baseball too. I mean, I'm trying to see my Dodgers do something. We got Mookie Betts.
you're a Dodgers fan? I
Like,
didn't know that.
He's a Dodgers fan.
Yeah, I would love to see the season happen. I'm just saying that right now I feel that it is in heavy doubt.
Dang, yeah, you guys do have a good team.
Stacked.
How about those Giants, Mike?
The same. My Giants. I don't know. I don't pay attention.
Yeah, I think they're kind of old now, if I remember.
But they're not
Hey.
that good.
My face when the San Francisco Giants are suffering.
Yeah, true.
Great World Series against the Royals and
Back.
everything.
They had a
but
good little
other than
run.
that-
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
I've got nothing else to do except for gloat that Liverpool's the best.
oh yeah, do you want to talk about that a little more?
I mean, best team in the world. It's like the problem with
They're stacked.
the problem with winning it the way that we did is that the title has been ours, so to speak, since like February, since like January. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
We've just completely dominated the league, and so it's like it's really nice, and it's now just really, it's like now I'm like already looking forward to like next season and like the rest of this season where it's just like how can we play like champions, you know what I'm saying? Like how can we just like we'll be like no, like fuck you guys, we are the best team in the world and we're gonna prove it with every game we play. So it's and like Thursday we play Manchester City, so that game's gonna be really fun.
But does it even matter anymore? Like, can you just play the Rooks?
It's all records now.
Okay.
Go for the highest point totals, for the most wins, for the like just records.
Some of Chelsea boys with this transfer ban still out here.
Chelsea's turning the corner. Manchester United's turning the corner. City's a great team. Liverpool's a great team. Arsenal's not that good. Tottenham could be good.
Yeah.
Leicester is
they
still
need
good.
to really capitalize on what they got.
We got a big game Thursday.
They need to stop fucking around.
We got a big game Thursday.
Great. Tottenham has great players. And they need to stop fucking around and just like and be a consistently good team. You know what I'm saying?
Son, Harry Kane, Dele Alli, that three-headed monster. Like, what are they doing? Being so average.
They even got that new young kid who keeps on scoring goals for them. Like they're a good team. They just need to be a little more like the problem. I don't know, and like I can see this with Liverpool tinted glasses, but it's like it's all about consistency and how you perform when you're not playing Manchester City, how you perform when you're not playing Manchester United. You know what I'm saying? Like when you are playing a Watford, but like a Burnley or like a lower tier side where it's like
or like a Newcastle United.
Yeah. Newcastle's getting bought out by the country of Syria or like Saudi Arabia. I forget which one. And like they're about to get like the biggest bag ever found in like world football.
There is so much dirty money in professional soccer, bro.
Jesus Christ. Don't say. It's crazy. But proud of the boys, proud of the lads. Big fan. Hopefully we can get another. The other thing that like with how good Liverpool is and how good our Jurgen Klopp is as a coach and how good like we are like totally. I think one Premier League winners medal is too few. I think we need to go again and win like another Champions League or like another Premier League to really like.
I think you guys repeat next year for Premier League.
Logan will tell you something different, but
I don't see how you don't. I mean, I'm a Chelsea fan as well, but like, I don't see how we turn it around that quick, especially with the way this season is getting pushed into the next one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm really hoping that like it'll just be a continuation of form. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like it basically will be, especially because of the fact that international soccer for the summer was pretty much nixed.
So it's just club, and it's just like being in rhythm with the guys that you're playing with.
Yeah.
Beating down on some motherfuckers and like
So how hard is it to repeat in soccer?
I mean, Manchester City just did it the last 2 years. They won.
Yep.
They won last year and the year before that. And then Manchester City is a great team, but like I think what we're seeing with them is that like they're not incredible anymore. I don't know. I think Vincent Company really did a lot for them.
Aguero's on the downturn.
And Aguero, like for as good like Aguero will always be a goal machine. That's like the craziest thing about Aguero is that like whenever he's on the field, they will score a goal. Like he's worth a goal a game, like at the minimum. He's crazy. And like
So
Company was a like a top 5 center back. And so like as those two players have like sort of went to the downturn, like and like Company retiring, I think you're seeing some bigger holes than they had anticipated in the team. You know what I'm saying?
I think they need to focus on building the team more around De Bruyne. I can't remember how to say it, but
KDB.
Kevin.
That's their future. They got to build it around him because that dude is one of a kind.
They haven't been building around him?
They've just been like he's just been a central midfielder basically for them. You know what I'm saying? Like he's been like I think this season, especially with Hazard out of the league, like he's very much solidified himself as like I'm top 2, top 1 player in the Premier League.
When is your peak age-wise in soccer?
Same for most sports. I would say like I don't know.
I feel like it's a range.
Because he's 29.
I'd say like 26 to like 32.
But then again, like you can hit your peak real young too. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
Like I don't know, like Philip Coutinho or like Theo Walcott or like even to a smaller extent, like Raheem Sterling's been at his peak for like a while. Like he's an incredible player. You know what I'm saying? Or just like it's more like there's not so much as like peaks, but just like how long you're in form. Like Cristiano Ronaldo has been in his prime. I mean, this is a bad example because he's a freak of a player, but like he's been in his prime for forever. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but happy for him, proud of him, love him. Next bit of news: Bonnaroo is canceled. Bonnaroo is canceled.
Who would have guessed?
EDC up next.
No, EDC is gonna happen.
EDC is gonna happen in October.
Vegas is open. I don't know.
I don't think EDC is gonna happen.
I don't think EDC is gonna happen.
Because the hotels for Vegas, you already have to wear a mask now for many of the properties. Like I could see it. Like I don't know. Like I mean, I just don't think it'll happen. It could still, but it's just looking tough because we've already seen Coachella, like do what they did. So.
So this is what the guy. Okay, they're gonna wait 30. Logan was saying this to me. They're gonna wait 30 days before, like they did, to tell us that it was moved. So I don't know. Do you think possibly by the end of August we'll overcome this second wave?
No chance.
Okay.
We're currently in exponential growth. It's going to take us the entire month of July just to kind of get it
chilling.
Yeah, just to actually have our case rates not continually rising like day by day, like by certain percentage points. And like with the way we're acting now, because we're so hesitant to lock down, I mean, we will still like peak and kind of like dip a little bit with transmission rates. But yeah, it just takes so long because it's exponential growth, exponential spread.
So concerts, festivals, 2021.
They can still happen, but I think like festivals are pretty much out. Concerts can happen though. Like you just have to have them in an open area, and you can't have a massive crowd. Like you'd have to have a more limited crowd size.
Would you have to go to a drive-in then?
I like
that too. That'd be dope.
The drive-in, it didn't look that bad though.
It didn't look like what I want though.
It kind of looks like a tailgate concert.
I don't know, and it was so spread out. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I don't like you're so far away from the stage. I don't know.
You don't get bro bumping into you.
But it's not even bro. Like I can't like find the nice pocket of space in front left. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Sure. Well,
Yeah.
I don't
your
know.
car can.
I was talking to some dude.
That's
on
fucking
Reddit.
random. And you're like, dude, and they're like, bro.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like you're vibing with someone, and you're like, yo, you're pretty sick. Gotta be honest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was talking to this one dude on Reddit, and he was saying like 2 years probably before we like go to like a proper rave again. And I was like, Jesus.
I think it'll be like fall of no, like late summer, maybe like Lollapalooza time next year is when
Really?
it'll become more normalized with festivals and things. Maybe as early as Bonnaroo. It all just depends on the speed at which we get antivirals. The
That means
speed
no
at which
hangout.
we get. Yeah. I mean, I can't say any of this for sure. I mean, I'm not qualified. This is just me saying what I know from what I read.
Yeah.
But I think as of right now, it's so much more believable that things get canceled as opposed to things happening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
don't make plans. There's this motherfucker named COVID, and
I feel like Squidward when he was watching SpongeBob and Patrick playing outside.
Yeah.
Because there's because a lot of like the fun that I like to do is very like well organized, high attended fun. You know what I'm saying? Like I like to go to music festivals. I like to go to like sporting events. I like, you know what I'm saying? Whereas like if your idea of fun is just like getting together and like having like a beer Olympics or whatever, not hating on it or whatever, but like that's still something that you can do. And like it's just so annoying that like I'm seeing so many people like enjoy their lives and like the things that I love that bring me so much enjoyment are still not on the table. But I got to see what the fucking league, so it's all good. I don't know.
Damn CCP. Couldn't have just told us the truth.
Facts. Or just
that orange dude in the White House just couldn't have been more responsible once he did know.
Couldn't have cared. Couldn't bother to care. Couldn't bother to care.
In the WHO. In the WHO and the CDC, like, what's up, y'all?
It's annoying.
Well, we're about an hour and 30 minutes.
Damn, long pod. Lot to talk about. Lot to catch up on. Lots been happening in this this world lately.
Yeah.
A lot has been happening. That's the crazy part, is that like all of this while under a quarantine, while we're supposed to be doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Which is like, I'm sure you've heard this take, but like it's so crazy like that like George Floyd was murdered during this time, because then there is no music festival to go to. There is no Lakers-Clippers game to go to. So everyone will just focus in and be like, no, this shit's wrong as hell. Like this shit ain't right. And it needs to there needs to be something done about it. Like I need to do something about it. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the big difference between like when these things have happened in the back, like the Ferguson riots or like the Baltimore riots or like those things where it was like, oh, look at them doing something about it. But now it's like, no. I need to do something about it. Like this needs to be a very personal thing for me. Love to see.
It's like, especially when you look at just like if you just go back through history, anytime there's been some massive public health issue or pandemic or epidemic or thing of that nature, you usually have wide social reforms. And just because it's too easy to really see the inequities in your government or your lifestyle or your society when you're sitting at home or when you are, being restricted from just regular health, because at that point it's like that's what people usually have, so they value that. So when they don't even have that, and then you're seeing these other injustices happen on top of it, it just really gives you the time to really sit with yourself and look in the mirror. I think it is. Like I remember just back in March, even like the second we went on quarantine, I knew in my heart that I didn't know what exactly was going to happen, but in some way, shape, or form, something in this country big was going to happen that was going to spark some major change. Because that's, if you just look at history, anytime this type of situation happens with public health, usually the case.
Yeah. Hopefully something does, dude. The most annoying thing would be if like all of this happens and all of these people like go to bat and like really like put themselves at risk to try and like enact change and try to bring about change, and nothing would happen. Like it'd be the worst thing to throw a pick six in the red zone right now.
Yeah, and like my thing with it is the whole no justice, no pieces. I don't know if the reforms are coming in a week. I don't know if they're coming in a month. I don't know if they're coming in 6 months. I don't know if they're coming in a year. I don't know if they're coming in 5. What I do know is that I'm not going to stop talking about it, thinking about it, or being about it until it does happen.
Yeah.
Can't let them. Can't, because the world is pretty quick to forget. Or the world is really quick to move on. Really quick to move on. And like this is not something that we can allow you to move on from until you have like very literally, we can't sweep this under the rug. It needs to be dealt with in an appropriate way and in a way that's going to solve these issues going forward.
Yeah, like I wholeheartedly believe.
Like
I wholeheartedly believe your truth is the reality you're willing to accept, and for me, I'm trying to accept a better reality. So I'm not going back to whatever BS we were about before because it wasn't working out. It feel like it restricted me too much, and ever since I did start speaking out and speaking my mind more, I do feel happier. I mean, there's still sad days and sad times from the things going on, but I do feel better. Like it's a form of therapy basically, because you're not suppressing your thoughts and your emotions and how you feel about things, and you're letting people really know you.
Yeah, and like you don't feel like there's so many times where like you're not feeling powerless. You know what I'm saying? Like I think feeling powerless is such an awful feeling of like all these awful things are happening or all these things are happening and I just can't do shit about it. Whereas like now there's like no like my voice that like only a select few people care about, you know what I'm saying? But like I can use it for this. I can be another speaker in this chorus, you know what I'm saying? Like this, like
exactly.
Just say what, like not even, and it's not even like following. Like it's like I'm going to repeat what they said because I need everyone to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah, like I don't know how many people I will reach. I don't know how many people I do reach, but
God damn it, I'm gonna reach somebody. God damn it, I'm gonna try.
Yeah, just need one, because like it can be an exponential thing. One person can turn to 2, can turn to 4, can turn to 8, can turn to, and keep going from there. This is a great quote that I love as well. That's like, people don't have ideas; ideas have people.
Love that.
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah. Interesting. Ideas as a collective. I really like that. Because it's so true. I mean, people like, you know what I'm saying? You'll have an idea, but like, then you'll find out that 80 different people have it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I love that. I think we might leave you with that. Nick, you got anything else to add?
Hey, before we head out, just want to say what's good to all the boys across the country, all the girls across the country as well.
Hannah Correll says what's good, Cheeds.
Hannah Correll does say what's good to you, Cheeds.
What's good? And also just everyone's families or anyone just going through it right now. With every hardship comes relief. So whatever you're going through now, we'll see a better day at some point. Just keep pushing, keep going. RIP to all those that have died from COVID, that have left this earth before their time. Black, white, Asian, Native American, whatever you are, you matter. Your life mattered. And the world is worse off without you. So RIP to all of you, and to those that are out fighting against the injustices, keep doing so, but do so responsibly. Don't attack others if they haven't attacked you. Do not feel the need to completely shut people down, because your allies are going to be imperfect, but you need as many people on your side as possible. So you have to be smart about what we're doing and what we're saying. That way we can truly move forward in a way that's positive and peaceful, because if we do everything through violence, we're just going to repeat the cycle, because hurt people hurt people. So that's all I got to say.
Nick, anything?
Nah, I think that's it. Rest in peace, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Elijah McClain, Juice World, Pop Smoke, Kobe Bryant. We've lost a lot of good ones recently. It's been sad, but yeah. Anyways, not to end on a serious note. Thank you for watching. Cheeds, thank you for joining us.
Cheeds,
Thanks for having me, guys.
Always a pleasure. Always a fucking
Stay
pleasure.
tuned to What's Good podcast, people.
What about the merch? What about the merch?
Dude, oh my god, I can't believe we almost forgot the merch. The merch.
Oh yeah, the merch.
The merch. It's a great idea. Would love to do it. I would like so much excitement like on Twitter, and like everyone was like texting me about it and being like, yo, like we act like that's like a dead ass, like a great idea. So I think it's maybe out of the idea phase and like now into like the numbers and like actionable phase, but
I'll try to make something.
I have a running folder of screenshots of every reply people had with ideas and what we were talking about yesterday for ideas, and I have all those together. So Nick, make some mock-ups and I'll make some as well, and we could just kind of make a survey and just post them online, and I can host them on my website or somewhere else, and we can just have people vote and just see which ones they like the best, and then you guys can sell them.
Merch is on the way. We'll try to do something about it because sweatshirts are nice and it's fun to. It'd be cool, it'd be cool to just have something that says "What's Good" on it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where you know. And like one of the things that when we saw Wiz Khalifa at 515, and he like sang Taylor Gang, and he was like, you guys know this one, like Taylor Gang just started as like what him and his friends called each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now it's like this thing that millions and millions of people all around the world like know. And it's like in that moment, I was like, what if like one day I was like, yo, y'all know this? And it was like, what's good? What's good? And it's like,
ideas have people.
All it takes is doing it, and all it takes is like spreading it. So, and like actualizing it. You know what I'm saying? Like make it like a real thing. Make it something that's bigger than just like 8 people or whatever. So, merch, where it's an idea that has too much steam to put it down. You know what I'm saying? So don't worry about that. Keep hounding us on it because it'd be kind of cool to do it. Love you all. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to wash your hands. Be sure to wear your mask. Be sure to, I don't know, take care of yourself. Stay hopeful. Tomorrow will be better than today. I promise you that. But I got nothing else for you. Love you. Love you. Love you. Here. Bye.
Peace and love to all.
Peace.
Yep. Love you, boys. Thanks for having me.
Hey, no problem.